Hello to all my friends out there. So I'm at McDonald's drinking Coke. That's what I do in the morning. And I decided to have a little chat. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm cleaning my house because I'm feng shuiing my house, but I'm also sanitizing my house. And the reason I want to sanitize my house is because I want to be in a position to protect myself if any disease hits us. Doesn't look like it's going to, but you never know. Okay, in Wuhan, China, they can't get bleach, alcohol, and I will be getting that 91% alcohol, and masks. And I will be getting some masks as well. And I will be stockpiling bleach. So the interesting thing about Wuhan is the people are quarantined, but it's my belief that the entire city is surveilled. And I think they can surveil down to an ant if they want to, and they're watching to see what's happening. So the people are not all infected, but they are being made miserable, and it's probably affecting their ability to earn a living. So one of the things I'm doing now, since my income was reduced by $125 to pay my Medi-Cal B, and I'm not complaining because the other night, if I didn't have medical, I don't want to think. One of the followers said I would have been up you-know-what creek without a paddle, and that would have been so true. So what I'm doing is I'm just preparing for anything. And I think that's the thing to do. So the quarantine in China is also controlling a huge population of people. That's why these really big cities are kind of dangerous, because you can be forced to quarantine or anything they want to do to you. I was living in El Cajon City, and there was a shooting. A policeman shot a mentally ill guy, and we had a lot of protesters come in, and they shut our whole city down. My son told me not to work for 3 days. And, there was helicopters flying all over. There was sheriffs driving all over, so I kind of have an idea of what is going to happen if something like that happens. So I was kind of glad to get out of El Cajon City as well. So by sanitizing my dwelling, I'm protecting myself, from any kind of disease. This is one of the things I'm doing when I'm going over, what happened to me. Possible I picked up something, not sure. Okay, now I want to talk about the paleo diet. The paleo diet originated in 1970, and at that time it was a diet, but it's been adopted by a lot of people. It's really kind of like a low-carb, low-sugar diet. And I was doing research on what the lower class eats, people with $15,000 and lower, and what the people with $45,000 and over are eating. And what the people in the higher class are eating sounds very similar to the paleo diet. Meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds. They make a big deal out of seeds. Fruit, lots of fruit. They're gobbling up fruit, fats, and oil. Okay, the only two things the brain needs, the brain recognizes as nourishment, is fat and sugars. Babies drink milk sugars, not fruit sugars. No one feeds their babies fruit juice. And fats would be, naturally occurring fats would be more desirable than eating a lot of butter and oil. And they shun processed foods, grains, and sugars. Now the middle class is eating 3 good meals a day: eggs, bacon, bread, mutton, pork, potatoes, rice, milk, sugar, and jam. And so this is interesting about the eating habits. Okay, in the Bible, Jesus said, "I am the bread." He referred to himself as the bread or food. And huge populations of people are pretty much, they're shunning a lot of bread foods. And then the lower class are eating bread foods, and it's causing them to get fat. And I think these diets over time are a mistake because you're cutting out dairy, which would be milk and cheese, and you're eating seeds and nuts as opposed to dairy. Seeds and nuts are probably cheaper overall. So you have huge populations shunning dairy and shunning cheese. Another thing is, this avoiding sickness. One of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to watch your diet. Your diet doesn't have to be expensive, but it does need to be a perfectly balanced diet if you can to maintain health. I think this is what the top 2 are eating. They say there's no data on what the top 2% of the nation, the paleo, no Coke, water. Anyway, so you want to I believe the top 2 are maintaining a perfectly balanced diet. There's no lacking in any department. So even like me, if you're on a very low income, you can still balance your diet. You would have meat, vegetables, fruit, dairy, a fat not in excess, and milk. Well, that'd be a dairy. I might be forgetting something. And I will be working on this in my meals. Right now, I'm taking off a little weight just in case the other night I was heading in the direction of a heart attack or a stroke. And I'm rejecting all diets that are removing any food group. I don't think it's safe. And so I will be doing some meals pretty soon. And then I have another thing on the credit cards, which somebody out there is going to do this or get this, and it's really going to help them. So what I'm doing is I'm not spending any money. One of the followers said she saves 10%, and I think that's a good thing to do too. But what I'm doing is I'm suspending any and all spending, pretty much. I mean, a Coke here or something like that. But what I'm doing is I have certain cards, okay? In some of my cards, I can pull all the money off in cash. And then in other cards, they give you a % cash back. So I'm putting all my spendable income on a card that I can pull the cash back and pay things if I want to. And then also, I'm pretty much using as much as I possibly can the card that gives me the cash back, like a 1 or 2%, and that money comes in handy. Now, say if you're on a very low income and you find a way to receive $50 back on one of your cards just by paying all your bills on it, that $50 is really going to help you. And if you carefully do that, it's not going to cost you. So that is my chat for the day, and I want to encourage you guys to get your house and everything clean, and it'll be a lot less likely that you're going to pick up any disease. At night when I pray for you guys, I pray the blood of Jesus Christ on you guys. And even if you're not Christian, I still pray that on you, because the Christians believe that the blood, the actual shedding of the blood, was atonement for sin. But some of us also believe that the blood can protect us. And don't ever forget that if you're in dangerous situations or your children are in the military, you can pray the blood of Jesus Christ on them. And another thing is I was going to a church, and in that church they said if you stay very close to Jesus, then you'll be a lot safer, and I agree with that too. I'm not trying to convert anybody. That's what you guys want to do, but I want to mention that because you never know what peril you might fall into. And then another thing, there was some missionaries, and the people in the country they were in were very, very hostile towards these missionaries. And they took the Bibles from the missionaries, and they were like, they got the people up like on a stage and told them, throw the Bible down on the ground, as hard as you can. And so, they terrorized the people, the adults, and finally, all the adults had thrown the Bibles down on the ground. And in some religions, the Bible is considered the literal word or the literal substance of God. And so they were terrorized half to death. And out of the audience came a very little girl, and she picked up one of the Bibles, and she put it on her heart. And at that time, these people were compelled to leave these missionaries. And so don't ever forget, we may need at some point this ability to really stand strong in all kinds of ways. And, it's the thing of the faith of a small child. So I'm praying for you guys. I really appreciate you. And one of the biggest compliments I got this week is one of my followers said, I feel like I'm your friend. And I thought that was the most lovable comment. And there's a lot of them too. So you guys read the comments, get the notebooks, and even some of the comments that are a little bit off. I worked in a salon, and this is women for you. They just get up on the wrong side of the bed. It's nothing personal. And that is how I was able to earn a living, no matter what. And so please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.